Welcome to the Sector Spin with Terry. In this video series, I share with you what I'm watching each week in various sector industry subgroups. Now, this week, one of our subscribers made mention to be on the lookout for opportunities in mid-cap stocks. So I thought I'd take a look to see what might be interesting in that segment of the stock market. Now, mid-cap stocks are generally those whose market capitalization is greater than $2 billion but less than $10 billion, give or take. In Optuma, there is already a pre-built list of the top 400 mid-cap stocks called the S&P 400 Mid-Cap Index. Now, this current membership of this index ranges from a high of about 17 billion to a low of, let's see where it is here, 1.5 billion. So their list is a little broader than my general definition. Now, there's about 400 stocks in this list, 398, obviously it's called the S&P 400. So membership will float in and out on whatever period the S&P decides to adjust this. But you can see here, this is a weekly rotation of those 400 stocks. And this is way too much to work with. So obviously we need to filter these down to something more manageable. Now, I've got a proprietary screening tool built into Optuma that can help me identify stocks that are currently demonstrating an improving weekly trend. You see these blue vectors in here? So the green, yellow, blue, and red vectors tell me that the condition of the weekly price trend. So green is a leading trend, yellow is a weakening trend, red is a lagging trend, and blue is an improving trend. So if I run my little screening manager, I can knock this list down to 27 stocks that have either last week or this week formed new blue improving signals. Now let me just rotate this back here for a while. Let's go back to the end of July or earlier. I'll just animate and show you. As we come in here, you've got a lot of these stocks that are in different colors. These vectors are in different colors, but I'm interested in what happened either last week or this week. And now, bam, you can start to see the color change. Okay, so last week I had all of these blues. There's a few reds in here. And then this week, some of those blues turned to red, and all of the red ones that were in the prior week have turned to blue. So it's kind of a hybrid here. It's not just currently the blue ones. So I'm taking a look at last week and whatever it is this week. It's just Thursday, so this week is not completely full yet. So now I've got this list narrowed down to 27 stocks, and I think there's one more thing I need to do. So let's look at this again here. Let's look at the characteristics of what's going on in here. Notice that all of the characteristics of these stocks, they generally all have rising momentum, and many have also already turned to the northeast, signaling both a rising relative strength ratio as well as rising momentum. Now, there are a few in here that are still moving to the west or to the northwest, and then even one here that's kind of moving to the southwest. So I can eliminate those with another little filter. And let's take this list down from here to here. Okay, so by using some additional screening criteria, I've been able to narrow this list down now to about 13 stocks. There we go. And as you can see, as I rotate it, you can see on the week of 8/20, ending August 20th, these all had a red lagging vector. They were moving in the northeast. Many of them were moving north already. But once that weekly trend starts to change, that's where things get interesting. So let's take a look here at the chart patterns where we can further refine this list using our own set, our specific set of guidelines to determine if there are any proper entry points in these stocks. So here's Donaldson. I've got this list down to 13 now, so it won't take too long. I'm looking at a weekly candle chart here, and just to show you what it is here. Donaldson is DCI. Okay, if you can see right here in the weekly RRG, it's currently red. And that red on the weekly, it represents this past week's candle has turned red here. If I animate this back one tick, let's just take this little line, that's what the purpose of that's for. You can see last week we had blue. Okay, so I had a blue vector here, so that included that in my list. But today, this week, we've actually got the stock turning back down, and it's got a pretty large down candle. So maybe that one is not really that good of a candidate. So let's go down to the next one here. Let's look at Crane. The same kind of thing there. We've got a blue vector last week, and we've got a red candle this week. Let's find Terex. Let's see, Terex, same kind of thing there. Now here is one that caught my attention. This stock is Tetra Tech, symbol TTEK. It caught my attention here based on what appears to me to be a cup and handle formation, which is one of the traditional technical patterns that many stock traders look for. Here I'll draw the cup, and there's a little short handle, and then there's a breakout. So typically when we look at find stocks that are doing this, they have consolidated, they have played back up, and a little brief dip to the south. They've shaken out all the sellers. A break above what is called the pivot point here typically indicates a further continuation of the uptrend. You guys can go research that on your own if you're looking for more information on cup and handle formations. One resource I would suggest is Investors Business Daily. Now note also here the stock. Let me go ahead and switch this from a weekly to a daily price chart so that we can kind of zoom in on it a little bit more, and there you can get a better idea of the patterns that went on. We can also look at volume down here, and if you look and you can see I don't have an average volume line drawn here, but the volume generally started to rise right here on this gap up, on this big up candle day that we had here on Wednesday, and today's candle here is Thursday. So as I've drawn here, the cup, the handle, the breakout above the pivot point, a breakout in higher volume, this should spell further continuation for this stock. One other thing, we're going to look at a long-term uptrend channel now that we've got some lower resistance lines here. So there's a low, the next low, and then this should serve as a general uptrend channel here. The other thing you might notice on this chart are these red, green, and blue lines that I have drawn here. Now, those are my 200-day moving average, my 50-day moving average, and my 20-day moving average. Let me go ahead and remove this drawing here I've got. So let's take a look at what has been happening since, about June 17th, where if we're going to call this the bottom and this is the key support level. The stock has moved impulsively higher and obviously broken out of this cup and handle formation. But if we just look at our moving averages, you can see prices running above the 200-day moving average. The 50-day has crossed back above the 200, so that's a long-term continuation. One more thing I'll make note of is the stock set a new all-time high back in January, tested it again in February, tested it again in April before it began this cup formation, came back up just shy of that all-time high here in August. There's your handle. And then now here is where we advanced to a new high. So we have just set a new all-time high in this stock here on Wednesday, and that was the signal to go. But don't be afraid of trading stocks that are making all-time highs. That's the way you make money in the market, right? The stock you want the stock to continue going up, right? So you can't always buy here at the dip. That would be lovely if we could buy here and always know what the future is holding for us. The best thing we can do is follow our proper trading technical analysis tools. The trend is your friend. Trade with the trend. And to do so successfully, you need to use these technical tools to identify the best stocks that fit your trading criteria. Now, I encourage each of you to take the results of my screening efforts and further analyze these stocks here to find those that may meet your own trading criteria. If you followed any of my prior recommendations, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Please check us out at tradinganalysis.com for more great market analysis, a great member community where you can get more trading ideas and share yours with our active community. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a great weekend.